Detroit becomes the center of the universe next week for car buffs as the North American International Auto Show kicks off. Joining us from our Detroit bureau to talk about the show is Reuters' Ben Clayman. Ben, let's start first with General Motors. Next week, Mary Barra becomes the new CEO at the automaker. What are some of GM's priorities at the show?
Well, they're showing off 3 vehicles at the show, although they're sort of iterations of vehicles they have shown before. So I think more of the attention will be on the executives and what they have to say. More specifically, the person you alluded to, Mary Barra. Everyone wants to know what she has to say, what her message to the troops will be, and if she's going to lay out any kind of vision for the GM she sees, moving forward.
Let's talk about Ford as well, because it almost had an executive shuffle. Certainly there was all this speculation about what would happen with Alan Mulally. He's staying as CEO, not going to Microsoft. Has that been a distraction at Ford?
Absolutely. It had gotten to the point where whenever Alan Mulally showed up anywhere, no matter what Ford was talking about, all anyone wanted to ask Mulally about was, where was he going? Was he going to Microsoft? How long was he going to be at Ford? It was getting to be a huge distraction that was upsetting people on the Ford board and in the company. And I think they just wanted to move past that. And thus, Mulally said this week that he was done with Microsoft and he was committed to Ford through the end of this year. So they're hoping that that will put the focus back on the product, which is good timing because a lot of people think that Ford's going to have one of the sort of attention-grabbing vehicles at the show, which is the new version or the redesigned version of the F-150 full-size pickup, which is sort of their profit machine for that car maker. And the reason this is such a big vehicle is it's much more aluminum intensive than the current version, so it's going to get a lot of attention.
So another automaker we know that will be in focus is Tesla. What are expectations from that company?
Well, Tesla does have a press conference, although as far as I have heard, they're not going to be showing any models. So we'll have to wait to see what they have to say. Obviously, they've been dealing with a lot of issues with the Model S fires that they had a couple in the United States and one in Mexico. And U.S. safety regulators are investigating the U.S. fires. And in fact, they're due to have turn in a bunch of documents to those investigators during the show. So we'll have to see if they have anything to say about that or if they have any other new announcements that are going to get attention.
And Ben, in general, are we expecting upbeat news at this show? Auto sales, we know, were rebounding last year. So are people going to be talking up 2014 sales?
I think people will be saying that 2014 is going to be an increase from 2013. Obviously, 2013 we saw the best year since 2007. And I think the sales ended at over 15.5 million. People expect sales to continue to rise to above 16 million this year. So the growth will be slower. I think the talk's going to focus on what kind of growth will it be. Are we going to see incentives rise, which are going to cut into profits? Or will things continue on at the pace they have? That of course, we're going to have to see play out as the year goes on.
What are some of the other highlights you'll be looking out for, Ben?
Well, of course, we're going to be, Sergio, this is going to be Sergio Marchionne, the CEO of Fiat and Chrysler. This is going to be his first public appearance at the show since Fiat announced they were going to buy the rest of Chrysler. And everyone's been waiting to see Fiat, more fully merge its operations with Chrysler. So we're obviously going to want to hear what he has to say about his vision for the company now that he's about to finish, closing that deal.
All right, Reuters' Ben Clayman, thanks so much.
Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.